Hi and welcome to Homo Ludens, the channel on history and board games.
My name is Alexandre.
And my name is Fred, and her name is Tama. So you will see a war dog in this specific video. And today we're going to talk about Charioteer, released by GMT Games, I believe, in 2023 or 2022?
I think it was maybe late 2022.
Yeah, 2022.
Whatever.
I think it was.
Designed by Calkins, the great designer of the great Sekigahara. Credit where credit is due. An amazing game.
Probably one of the best historical games.
One of the reasons I play historical games is Sekigahara. I need to say that in front of a camera and just be open about it. I mean, when I played Sekigahara, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I want to play more games like this, and look at me now.
And we've waited 10 years for another design by Calkins.
He's a busy person, so maybe he does that when he's not doing other stuff.
And this is a quite very different topic.
Yeah.
So this is.
I think you can see from the cover that it's about racing for glory in ancient Rome. Some chariots involved.
Yeah, chariots. Yeah, exactly. That's the term, because I was thinking about it in French and I was wondering, how do you say chariots in English?
I think you say chariots.
You say chariots.
Hence the title.
Charioteer. In this game, you're playing charioteers racing for glory
in ancient Rome. And this is prime content right here. People are just like,
high quality insights. We just provide insights. That's what we do.
But it's very simple. You're racing around. It's a racing game.
It's a racing game. Yeah.
It's not a historical war game. It is a historically themed racing game.
Yeah.
I think it does a good job of conveying its history, even though it's quite abstract.
Very abstract.
But that's basically it. I mean, you're racing around a big loop. The emperor is
might be pleased, might not be pleased,
might not be pleased. The crowd might be pleased, might not be pleased, and that's about it.
There was quite a few racing games that was released over the years that actually renewed the style of racing game, and obviously there is this like diptych of Flamme Rouge and Heat,
which towers over the whole genre. I think
it's hard to beat.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing that I will say up front. I mean, Charioteer is a kind of a weird situation where it's just like you get a publisher like GMT sort of playing around in an area of more mainstream interest games. And maybe there are some limitations to that in some respects.
But they do offer a different kind of experience.
Yes.
Like you will recognize some of the ideas from those other games in a way, or the vibe, not necessarily the mechanics, because I think Matt has a very interesting approach to depicting the racing mechanism. So I think it's
the cornering system is really good.
Yeah, very smart.
Very simple. Everything about this game is very smart. From the way the rule book is laid out to the way that the layout of the board reflects the way that the rule book teaches you the game. It's like every aspect of the game is clever. It's an exercise in clever design.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that is probably the most impressive about this game is, it is in clever design, efficiency, elegance, it is sharp, super sharp.
It's, you teach it in a matter of minutes, you get all of the little nuance. I think it's a game you could play with like your normal gaming group, not just, and I think it would be like a great game for like late in a convention where you're burnt out and you have like six, because that's the other thing.
Six tired
people playing this would have a heck of a time.
I think we'd have a lot of fun. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things, like the theme lends well to also like historical crowd, but also to anyone, because it's not like everyone. It has some images of Ben-Hur in their minds.
As an expert on cinema, I'll say that most people have seen Ben-Hur.
Yeah, exactly. And so in that sense, it works really well. We had a lot of fun playing it. Yeah. I really want to play it full.
I think at 3. I think it's going to scale well. I don't think I would play this at 2.
No.
But at 3, you already get some of that tension. I mean, we got some of that that fighting done. Some like we would be crowded in some situations. I think at 6 it's going to be even more chaotic, and I think that in some regards the chaos you're going to get from 6-player is going to be what offers a balance to the fact that the design is so clean. It's such a chaotic topic that is rendered in such a clean, streamlined, efficient way that I get why some people would say this is too abstract for its topic. But I think that's the intent of the game. That's a Matt Calkins thing. And I remember when you had him in an interview, and he was saying like he likes, for example, in Sekigahara, he wanted like blocks in bags because like he likes the sound of like the shuffling of blocks, the physical experience. This has that, and all of these little interests of his shine through in the design. In just like it feels like the game that he wanted to make.
Everything
100%
is intentful. Like everything is done with a specific intent, with a specific purpose, and it's in that sense, like as a player, but also as a designer, I'm super impressed by that. Like I'm like, well, I would like to have that level of commitment and intent in every design decision that I make in a game. And I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's a pretty impressive design. My minor issue with it is not with the game, because it feels like the game was exactly made as intended and it does what it wants to do. It's just that me personally as a player, when I see a game called Charioteer from GMT, I would have enjoyed at least a tiny bit more flavor.
And a bit more of a simulation is such a big word, but
not necessarily a simulation, but you know, it's
a little more.
What I would have liked is not simulation. I would have liked more storytelling elements.
Yes.
Like for example, you have those cards that give you your starting skills. That gives character to your player, which is like a great. It's in the other, which is a great idea, because it means that all of the players are going to be.
Is it? It's not.
Oh, no,
it's there.
Are going to be slightly different, and those cards are called the skills cards, and this is going to give character to your player, and that's great. The problem is that
even that is abstract.
Personally, what I wouldn't mind the abstract.
But
mechanic,
a character.
I would have liked like an illustration, the name of someone, a small historical text, something that actually draws me into providing storytelling experience of this chariot race.
And the history itself,
there's nothing.
I mean, it is perfectly well done, but I agree that the GMT logo sort of sets my expectations in a certain direction. And I don't get that from that. And maybe if it had been published by another publisher, I would not have had the same expectations. And that's where I'm like, is that like a fault on my part? Because I mean, I think that Matt Calkins has a great relationship with GMT and he wants to release his games through GMT, and the production is very solid.
Amazing. Like for GMT, it's really amazing. Like you've
custom dice, very
meeples,
amazing,
really awesome.
Awesome meeples.
Nice wooden blocks.
The wooden blocks are really nice because you get those from crowd favors, basically, and the other players don't see them, so you still have a bit of a you hide them by placing them.
You have a hand of cards and a hand of assets.
And those assets are hidden from the other players in a way that reminds you of block war games, which I found
there is a connection there. And that's my only criticism of the game. I think it's very cool. I'm looking forward to playing it with my whole family when they're coming in a couple of weeks now. It's just that I think I would have enjoyed the game more if it contained some narrative elements. And I think a good example of that, and that's something that came out of the game that we had yesterday.
With Philip, I think we need to
say hi to Philip. He should have been here, but we didn't plan this recording well.
He turned into Thema.
Yes, he turned into Thema.
Which is very weird.
Overnight. This happens in full moon, apparently. Anyway, and we were saying, well, those damage cards, you know what? If some of those cards actually had like some sort of
radius,
radius thematic
different,
elements, giving it a bit more flavor and making it a bit less abstract would have been, I think, better in the way of creating an emerging narrative out of the game, which for me the game is pretty weak at. It provides a great system. It provides fun around the table. It is very well made, but it doesn't provide an emerging narrative that I would have expected
apart
from a game.
The racing, because it still really feels like a racing game.
It feels very much like a racing game, but from a game called Charioteer, Race for Glory in Ancient Rome, I would have expected an emerging narrative that is not here. That's my
I think that, as I said, I think that as you get higher as far as player count goes, you're going to get more of that chaos. And once you get more of that chaos, that sort of like aggressiveness. Because we were basically, it was a fair and square race, all things considered. I mean, there was some damage.
The first two laps were pretty... I think the first two laps were really dense. Like it was, we were all close to each other. There was some damage spread around, but it was... I think the last lap was just a victory lap.
I'll say that about even like you can whip, and the moment where you can only use whip when you're trailing behind. You can't whip to like get even further ahead, and that's for like fun reasons, but it also feels like you play that whip and you have like and you're just like and just
you can tell some stories in your head.
If you make sounds, you need to make more sounds.
Yes, exactly.
It needed more sounds in the box. I don't know how you put sounds in a box, but
I think you could have a small, you press different buttons.
It's a deluxe production. It could even have like a...
Just saying you could have.
Deluxify.
But yeah, and that there is not much to say. I think it's if you like racing game, if you want to have a racing game that has a different flavor than from what exists on the market today, I think that Charioteer is definitely up there. Sure. It is a very good game. Like it's a smart racing game. If you're expecting for something that looks more a bit like Circus Maximus from Avalon Hill or something like this is not that.
No. But if you enjoy Matt Calkins as a designer, I think this is. It has his authorist stamp on it, which is also interesting because I think we, as a hobby, need to think of games as like the product of a person. Not just like a product.
And I think that Matt Calkins has this I don't know how to call it, but has this...
Say it in French. Say it in French.
Has this thing that when you play a game by Matt, you know that it's a game by Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
There is really something. And when you see here, it's like, this is like Matt making the thing that he wanted to do. And you can really feel it. And that's pretty awesome.
For sure.
The art that was made by Donald is really, really good.
Super clean.
Very clean, very sharp.
So.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of good stuff in there. So that's really impressive. My only gripe with it is, but it's also quite charming. It's
the crowd.
The crowd that looks like when you have fake 3D in Super Nintendo.
Not Super Nintendo. I think this is more of a like
PS1.
PS1, Nintendo 64,
when you don't
32, 64-bit era crowds in sports games,
they
look
all flat.
Yeah, and have like shifting colors, and you're just like,
that's okay.
That's a crowd. That's a crowd. But I mean, it's not perfect. But I kind of like it.
Yeah, me too. It reminds me when I was, playing Mario Kart when it was like the first release of it. It's okay, or really old. I don't know, Pro Evolution Soccer game and stuff like that. So it's good. But the rest is amazing. The production is amazing. The graphic design is pretty excellent.
No. All in all, it's a great package. If you're looking for a racing game and you want.
And you don't want to play bikes or cars
for political reasons in the case of cars, and for cultural reasons in the case of bikes.
And if you want to have fun playing it in a historical context, Charioteer is there for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Not much to say.
An enthusiastic thumbs up.
Still. Enthusiastic.
You
don't need to. No, that's fine. Great. Thanks for watching. I think it's the last video of our great Alexandre series.
the great adventure. I enjoyed doing this. It was nice.
So we'll have to wait for, I guess, another year before we do another series.
I can't not live in my own country and my own. I need to return to my own.
You need to go back home.
I need to return to my own world, Fred.
After 3 months in France, you need to go back home. But it was nice to have you here as a co-host for a little while.
I can't wait to do this again. Honestly,
it was great. But thanks for watching once again. Remember to subscribe.
Bye.
Remember to support the show on Ko-fi and all those things.
Chat in the Discord.
Yeah, exactly. And have fun. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
The multiplayer game, and anyone can play the one word.
She would take the role of Philippe, who was supposed to be with us.
Yeah. Yeah.